I know. For a while, it felt like everything I did was a little bit of help. And it meant I didn't have to ask her to be mine. Not yet. Not for real. Next time we dock with Groundbreaker, I'm doing it. I'll send June a message and ask her over. Oh, this is real scary.
Marilyn, is that you?
Moss, we certainly didn't expect to see you like this.
And I didn't expect you to renew your marriage contract. But we're all full of surprises today, aren't we? Speaking of surprises, you should meet my new friend. I don't know what to say. She's usually not like this. Come on, you're supposed to help me make an impression. Anyway, you're probably wondering.
Not exactly.
The last few years have been a bloody haze. You wouldn't, right? Yep, we're a...
Marilyn, this really is...
I mean, we had other business in Byzantium, so it's not... But you can't just kick us out. We'll stay as long as we... She's right. Since when can you afford authentic Terran marble?
That's what we've been trying to tell you, dear, but you must understand, we hadn't heard from you in ages.
We thought you were dead.
I'm not dead. I just never wanted to talk to you again.
I'm afraid the distinction was lost on us, darling.
We only did what any grieving parents in our position would do. We collected on your life insurance policy.
And the payouts have been rather...
You...
What vulgar company you keep, Marilyn.
Well, now that I'm here, I guess you'll just have to report back.
It's not that simple. For one thing, we'd have to cut back on so many necessities.
Damn right. Fine. What in the void did you do? I didn't like how things went down either, but did you have to go and kill them? That wasn't a problem before it meant kill. You're on your own now. Let's talk outside. Can you believe those two? We'd hardly been there a minute and they turned us out like... But not like I wanted. They'd both be sitting there watching one of their vapid aether. Mother would drop her mock apple cider. I'd have a great one-liner in the tube. I was thinking... Yeah, I'm gonna use that one day. Now, getting... Father would throw his hands up, because this would be just like me, to come back and make a big scene. Then, Mother would do the old... I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in like that. It's embarrassing, you know? I hope you don't think I'm talking about this because I want to be introspective. But I want to talk about me. Unless you mean the kind who'll look out for you to blink. Anyway, I don't want to sift through this lousy experience. Wait a second. What if I could get that money? I could open a new account, designate that account holder as a sole I'll make money without doing a thing. As long as I don't develop a taste for Wool Gonzola and bad legal dramas, that's fine by me. My policy is with the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. They have an office. Maybe you could use some of your... If that doesn't work... Still though. Thrilling? Guess we're going to Fallbrook.
Now, hold on. What happens if we hit the wall?
Most likely, the bullet will ricochet, which could be bad. Or hilarious. There's a tiny chance of a hull puncture, which would suck us into space one chunk at a time. Bad and hilarious.
Ugh. Just imagine that makes me sick.
That's why we don't miss.
We're now in orbit above Fallbrook, Captain.
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group, Halcyon's premier provider of life and... I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed to result from negligence, criminal activity, or dullness of mind. So, what kind of insurance package can I interest you in? We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official enclave of Byzantium. Oh, it's certainly not about what I say. That's all. Plenty. We've insured unusually expressive eyebrows, outrageous statements, disastrous marriages. One thing... I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right?
Of course, no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the bits I've stolen. Typical.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one.
Are you serious?
Well, we interviewed the parents extensively. They had plenty of awkward childhood stories that illustrated their daughter's clumsiness and capriciousness.
Hey, those are entirely made up.
Furthermore, the claim spurred a whole line of fashion-related policies. It's become a very lucrative market. You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. Imagine the paperwork. Of course she is. The paperwork said...
I like to think she's dead in spirit, but technically, legally, and regretfully, I'm still Marilyn Fenhill.
That's impossible. By all accounts, she was an elegant and classy woman with impossibly fine bone structure. That couldn't possibly be you.
That's gotta be the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a long while.
Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room. And you'd, theoretically, but you wouldn't actually do that, of course. Please, my policy only covers paper cuts and wrist strain. Very well, I'll do it. But then you've got to go. Confrontations like this will raise my premiums. I'll need the name of the new beneficiary.
Ellie Fenhill?
If you say so. The payouts will flow exclusively into the new account at the start of the month. I hope Ms. Fenhill enjoys her newfound prosperity.
You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. Hey, you did the real work. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs. Maybe as line holders or warm body? Come on, I thought we were so... Maybe you haven't noticed, but you can't even count on a bribe making it into the right pocket. What's the point of planning for anything around here? Hate to say it, but how... Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here's your fee. Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. Why else would you go through all this trouble? You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you. Yeah, I'm not trying to get all mushy or anything. Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day, they watch yours. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to look out for your interests. It's nothing personal. It's just the closest thing I've got to a code. Anyway, enough of the touchy-feelies, huh?
Felix, you're absolutely surely not gonna believe this. You know Princess of Hephaestus? That late show about the freedom fighter with a pure heart and a mean right hook? She finally kissed her sweetheart, Miss Yuko.
That's the episode with Ruth Bellamy, right? Been meaning to catch that.
Something on your mind? It's like one of those stuffy art gallery pieces. Looks okay from far off, but once you get close, you realize it's just some mismatched shit everyone's agreed to overpay for. Even the bribes are overpriced. The real question is, why didn't I leave sooner? There's all these invisible rules, and everyone spends all their energy just trying not to break them. I was a top-tier surgeon, but I could hardly open a pack of gauze without 10 people signing off first. Now you see why I left. People call Byzantium the jewel of Halcyon, but really, it's just paste. Everything's polished and bureaucracy. Take a close look and you'll see it's deader than anywhere else in the colony. That's what I've been saying.
I swear, next time we put into Groundbreaker... Oh. Oh, you mean Sam? He's just the sweetest, ain't he? You should try talking to him. You'll...
We've arrived at the Groundbreaker.
All right. She's on her way. Oh.
Something on your mind?
Anyhow, so I told him, Dad, I'm a big girl now. I ain't need your help. I can do it on my lonesome.
What did he say to that?
Have at it then. And he handed me his favorite wrench, the one he used for the canner. He's probably half as tall as I was.
He didn't scold you for talking back to him?
Nah, he was never like that. I always thought it was funny when I get indignant about something. Then he'd watch me do whatever it was, make sure I didn't get hurt, but he'd never interfere. I learned a lot that way.
I wish I could have met him. Anyone who helped shape you must have been a special person. My father and I were often at loggerheads. He had notions of how the station should be run, and I had others. He was fond of saying, "You think Groundbreaker pays for itself? Someone's got to cover the bills," when I chafed against his deference to the board.
Sounds like he was afraid of him.
He was, and he was right to be. Didn't mean I had to like it.
What about your mama? I don't mean to pry, you just heard me mention her, and I've been wondering.
She passed when I was small. Taught me how to change a fuse on her deathbed. Even sick, she was patient with me. She kept exhaustive journals of my childhood, my father said. Like she was A/B testing child rearing.
Must be you got that exacting nature from her.
Exacting is a kind way.
I think I'll initiate an unscheduled rest cycle while you're out.
Okay, Captain, she's gone. I feel like running laps around the car. So she got here, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, you smell nice, like my cat." And then she just sort of touched my arm real gentle-like and called the cut of my outfit elegant. I couldn't hear the rest on account of my heart was beating so hard. Then I led her into the kitchen. I think she about cried when she saw the spread. She stood stock still and just said, "Oh, real soft." Oh, and let me tell you, I was sweating. And then I told her how we got Mr. Raymond to bake it for us, so it was double authentic. Made by a real live monarch. Well, we talked a bunch over dinner about the things we learned just through messages, stuff we repaired, how I taught her to salvage and she taught me to build. When I brung out the sweetheart cakes, June, she got a little teary, said she had a thing she needed to say. But I stopped her because I wanted to say it first. I told her about how she made me feel. And then she pulled out a paper and read a speech. She talked about the things she admired about me, like my cleverness and my humor and... Anyhow, when she wrapped up, I asked her to be my girlfriend. We talked about it some. I told her I wasn't sure how it would work, how I've had a bad time of it in the past. She said we'll take it as it comes. Fix things together. Share meals, talk. Maybe she could rub my shoulders when they're sore. You got an eye for people, Captain. It's all on your account, you know. Imagine if you'd never taken me out of Edgewater. I don't know nothing about the law or the capital P plan, but you've sure changed my life. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna head to my cabin and happy screaming.
Make yourself at home, Captain.
Hey, Cap.
Hey, you. Looking for something? Where do you think you're going? Hey, nice form. Good delivery, too. All right, go.
Let's dance. Battle scars. Down they go.
What was that?
I hear something.
I heard something.
Something going on over there?
Are you out of your mind? What was that? What did... You just killed the guy. Please... Trust you? Boss, you can't just go around killing anybody who looks at you sideways. I'm gonna need some time to my...
Hey, you. Where do you think you're going? Hey, all right. Got my sights on.
Well, hey there, Hullhead. Clawed your way out of the groundbreaker at long last?
Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, were you expecting me to say something? Maybe a long time no...
Your captain has a sense of humor, Felix. Good. There's a time and place for humor. So, you took Felix under your wing. Kept him busy.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but he's...
Hear that, Clyde? I've been making something out of...
So long as you haven't been making a fool of yourself. I'm sure Felix has no end of stories to tell of your... I'm working on something. Something big. Something the likes of which Halcyon has never seen. And I want Felix to be a part of my initiative. I'm fulfilling a promise I made to the boy, that one day, he and I would change the colony together.
Easy there, Clyde. No one said nothing about throwing in with you. In case you didn't notice, I'm pretty happy where I am.
I'm not asking you to walk away from your captain, Felix. But neither should you allow yourself to be controlled by fear. Change is not to be feared. I brought you here because I want to know where Felix's loyalties lie. When the day of our revolution comes, I want to know that I can rely on him. That you feel insulted is a testament to your affection for the boy. I'm not asking you to let him go. Not until he's ready. I understand that Felix is part of your crew, at least for now. If the thought of losing... I want you to deal with a traitor for me. Name's ratted us out to the board. He's been an informant. Has been for years. When he realized I was onto him, he and his little cadre mutinied. Killed 5 of my own and tucked tail. I don't know where he's hiding, but his wife might. Rosanna. Lives on the groundbreaker. Rosanna knows my crew by name and face.
You think so? Maybe we should have a word with Trask. Get his side of the...
You'd be wasting your breath bandying words with that traitor. Remember, I want proof. Here. Let's hear. A revolution is the work of a lifetime, Captain. Everything you see around you is the result of that preparation. Hardly. The board is rotting from the inside. Tomorrow, next year, a generation. Entropy is the natural state of the universe, Captain. All...
Clyde's got a crew of his own. Did you want to ask me? I know. Clyde comes off rougher than Mantisaur hide. He's a good guy, though. You think he's using me? That he's probably using me. Yeah, you're right. I guess he thinks I'm still just some wide-eyed tenderfoot looking for a scrap. Maybe we should go have a word with Trask.
We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
scheduled advertisement for the following story. Spacer's Choice calls rumor of a Saltooner shortage patently baseless.
You mind trying to have a mo? Pleased to make your acquaintance, Ms. Contempt for Boundaries. Could you do me a favor? Rufus and I are no longer on speaking terms. I don't know. You're telling me you're on a first-name basis with Ms. Tennyson? All right. I'm gonna take your word for it. Rufus is hiding out in Emerald Vale. Got a few friends with him. That's as much as I know. Not inclined to answer your questions. Not after... Yeah, all right. That's right. Our marriage contract expired some months ago. And seeing how he's technically an outlaw, I wouldn't renew even if I wanted to. Only that Rufus is in a bad way. He came to see me a little ways back. Said he had to go into hiding. Never asked why. He was here to collect his personals, complain about Harlow to me, and say goodbye. In that order. No, and he was particular about that. Said I was better off not getting entangled in his mess. Precious little. He and Rufus worked together on the Groundbreaker some years back before he vanished. A few years later, Rufus gets a message from an old friend. Something about starting a revolution, something about getting rich. Abandoned his work and ran off that very day.
So Clyde sent Trask the same message he sent me. What's the problem?
Word of advice, kid? Anybody carrying on about a revolution just wants to sell you something. I don't know Harlow. Never so much as bandied a word with the fellow. You're better off having this discussion with Rufus. Appreciate it. No offense meant. Just been a long day is all.
We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
Score one from Felix.
I don't know who you are or why you're prowling around here. You're one of Harlow's gun hands, ain't you? Former wife. And if you so much as heard a hair... Yeah, okay. I'm having a conversation with a hired... Thing is, you and I are at an impasse. Harlow wants... How do I know that I can trust you? You've got good instincts, then. You were right not to trust Harlow. I never betrayed Harlow. Harlow betrayed all of us. The board's got him in their pocket, been paying him off for years. All that palaver about revolutions? It's a lie.
You can't be serious. I've known the guy for years.
Yeah, that's about how I reacted when I found out. That's the whole truth. Harlow's just another board asset. A two-bit mercenary wearing a dissident's clothes. Yeah, I've got proof. There's always a paper trail when the board's involved. I chanced upon some correspondence between Harlow and his employer. I don't know that it makes a difference. What was I to do with that evidence? Bring it in front of the board? There's no authority in Halcyon willing to take Harlow to task. Huh. You ain't like other board agents I heard about. You got a functioning spine. You want to confront Harlow yourself? Be my guest. I hid my papers before Harlow chased me out. Back in the middle of the base, there's an old vent in a utility corridor. Board-sanctioned piracy. Harlow went after the ships the board wanted destroyed, capturing. If we captured you, we'd ransom you. Harlow liked to do the job himself. Gather up the captives on his own ship, vanish for a couple of days. Only that's not what happened. Harlow's been selling his captives off to the board. I don't know where they ended up. Re-education, Tartarus, maybe worse. Because he's for sale. With Harlow in their pocket, the board had it. Take it you've made up your mind. You gonna tell Harlow I'm dead? May as well. I'm never going back to that life again. Here, take the ring. And for what it's worth, my gratitude.
Clyde Harlow, agent of the board. Yeah, that sounds even more insane out loud than it did in my head. I'm not sure what to think right now. You told me to be suspicious, but I never... Then again, Trask knew he was a dead man. Could have been trying to shift the blame. I've been trying to tell myself Clyde's got some sensible explanation for all... None of this is making a lick of sense to me right now.
What's the word? Not surprised. Trask. That's a damning accusation. Those papers don't prove a thing. We've all done business with the board. Trask put you up to this. That miserable wretch. You've got a lot of nerve, call. How should I know? What the hell do I care? Trask was a traitor. I didn't ask you to understand his motives. I asked you to cross him off.
Clyde, look me in the eye and tell me it's not true. Tell me, and I'll believe you.
Don't talk to me like I'm some common criminal, Felix. You're the one on trial, not me. I don't know what kind of poison that snake dripped in your ear, but...
Connor, get down!
What was that?
They got the drop on that.
What was that?
What was that? Fucker! What was that? Before you call. You're anticipating it. Of course I'm anticipating it. What if I shoot a friend on accident? That's on account of your state.
This is definitely not how I imagined it'd end. The void's black, water's wet, and Clyde hated the board. That's something I just knew. Now? I don't know. I don't know what to think. No. I guess you really don't. I've just got a lot on my mind right now. I always looked up to Clyde. The thought that he could be an agent of the board is just abhorrent to me. I just hope I never turn out like that. I ought to thank you for that. Keeping me on the straight and narrow. You've given me a lot to think about. I'm gonna be... Part of me wishes we put Trask in the ground. You know, I think that's just my frustration talking. Thanks for your time.
What did I tell you? Harlow's down with the man shtick was just an act. No one who yammers that much means half of it. Obviously not. And better for Felix to know that now rather than become the next Trask. Don't get all mushy on me now. People look out for... Sure I can. In fact, I bet you I live a lot longer. Well, let me know how that works. Anyway, you really want to tell me you're helping the scientists because you think... You're right.
The point is that self-interest is like self-pleasure. No one wants... Enough about Harlow. Anything else?
We're in orbit over Cascadia, Captain.